Okay, welcome everyone. This is the East Bronx History Forum, January 2025 meeting. And we have here today Mr. Ismer Mjeku, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, publisher, founder of Albanian Media Group, a lawyer by trade, native of Kosovo, worked also in publishing for Ilaria, Albanian American newspaper. And in 1998, started the Albanian American Yellow Pages. So an interesting topic, the history of Albanians in the Bronx, something we've never spoken about. I know they've been here for quite a while. They've definitely built a life for themselves and made New York City and America and the Bronx specifically their home. So this should be a very interesting topic. I'm going to pass over control to Ismer. Let me just going. So
okay.
Making you host. There you go. So you are the host now. Shows.
Okay. Now, how can I share? Let me share the document. Richard?
As we mentioned, if you haven't opened up the document on your desktop, and then just go to, on the bottom, it should say share screen.
Share screen, just share. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, documents. Okay. More documents. I share documents or a screen? How?
Share screen, and then you should be able to select the PowerPoint.
Desktop?
Yes, we said to save the PowerPoint to the desktop, which would be a little bit easier. So
okay. How did I share this?
have the PowerPoint open up on your computer already?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Open
open up the PowerPoint on your computer, and then go to share screen, and then you should be able to select the PowerPoint that you want to. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay, it's good now?
That's good. Yeah, we see it now.
Okay. Okay. So it's good, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's start now. Hi, everyone. Let me first thank Richard Vitakov, president of East Bronx History Forum, and Jacqueline Kopai from Albanian American Educators thank you all of you tonight who are on this Zoom. Let me first introduce myself. Richard did introduce me, but let me introduce the Albanian way. My name is Ismer Mjeku, and actually my name is not typical Albanian. It's Ismer is not very popular name among Albanians, but my last name is typically Albanian. Mjeku in Albanian means doctor, which I'm not a doctor by profession. I'm a lawyer by profession. I have a law degree in. Do you hear me? Do you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a lawyer by profession. I have a law degree from University of Pristina in Kosovo. I worked for 4 years as a lawyer representing our company in the local courts in Pristina. And after 1992, I came to United States, and my first apartment and first job was on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, in Little Italy. I started working in 1992 with an Albanian newspaper called Illyria. The newspaper was both in English and Albanian. I built a marketing section in the newspaper, and by working in the newspaper, I learned a lot about Albanian community, where they live, their businesses, professions, where they work, and everything, not only in Bronx, New York, but United States, all over United States. 1997, I started my business. I called Albanian Media Group. I kind of tried to stay in the same business as I learned in Illyria, not in my field, but something new. And later I started publishing the first Albanian business directory called Albanian Yellow Pages. And in 1998 was the first edition. And then was a kind of big success in Albanian American community, the big support from the community. Basically was, the idea was to list every Albanian American businesses in New York, like New Jersey and Connecticut, but elsewhere also. So was the newspaper, the Yellow Pages was a big help for Albanian American businesses to connect them and to do business together. So in 2001 and 2002, I started working in Albanian white pages, starting to count and to get the number of Albanians living in the United States, especially in New York. And in 2003, as an addition, I published the Albanian white pages on the Albanian Yellow Pages with around 200,000 Albanian residents. And then after years, I update the version with the online version of the Yellow Pages, and the book is still available on the internet, and printing now is like 26th edition this year coming up. So I also published many magazines in my business, brochures and publications for Albanian American community and on. So before I start talking about history of Albanians in the Bronx, I will just give you like a little preview about Albanians, where they live, where they come from, a little bit of history, very short history. I'm not going to bother a lot with history, but I did some slides like in my data in my computer and the internet. So just to give you an idea, where these Albanians coming from, like they're not coming in the Bronx from one part, like from Albania. They're coming from different parts of Europe. So first, the history of Albanians, they start 7th century before Christ, called Illyria. Illyria was the region where, albeit like in Illyrian tribes, they lived, and Albanians, they are like descendants of Illyrians. The most Illyrian kingdoms, they are known as the Kingdom of Dardania and Kingdom of Illyria. Kingdom of Dardania is today part of Kosovo, and North Albania and part of Macedonia, and the other part was Illyria, Dalmatia, and the north, and so on. During the Roman Empire, from 2nd century, Illyrians, they were on the Roman Empire for a few centuries until I think the 2nd century, when the Byzantine Empire under the Byzantine Empire, also Albanian in the Europe, in this region, there was the first, let me see, under the Byzantine Empire, Albanians, they were split in two big religious groups. In 1050, these Albanians, they accepted Christianity in the 1st century. They split in two Christians, like Eastern Christians and Western Christians, like Roman Empire and Byzantine Empire. So after 1050, Albanians, there were two types of Christians, like Orthodox Albanians and Roman Catholic Albanians, until the Ottoman Empire came to the power in the 14th century. So in 14th century, there was a big resistance of like protecting like part of Albania and Europe by our hero, a national hero, George Castrioti Skanderbeg, who led the rebellion against Ottoman Empire, expanding Ottoman Empire in the region for 20 years. So for 25 years. For 25 years, Ottomans, they couldn't get further through Albania and the other parts of Europe. So after the Skanderbeg death on 1968, Albanians, most of the Albanians, they moved to Italy and northern part of Adriatic, like Dalmatia and Croatia today. So also Albania also moved to other parts of Europe, but most of the Albanians, they moved to Italy, and they created the Arbresh community in Sicily and southern Italy. I will talk more about Arbresh community, Italian Albanians, which are even today, there are 51 villages in Arbresh towns in Italy. They are there for 500 years, and they still preserve their language and culture. They speak like Albanian, not like I speak, because we don't understand fully the language, because that language is the language Albanians, they spoke 500 years ago. But we understand each other. So so during the Ottoman Empire area, for 500 years, these Albanian, let's say, Christians, they start converting to Muslims. So during this period, like more than half of these Albanians, they moved in different parts of Turkey, Ottoman Empire, the Middle East and Egypt. The immigration of the Albanians during the Ottoman Empire was huge because there were 500 years. And after Ottoman Empire collapsed, Albania proclaimed independent from Ottoman Empire in 1912, and but was not kind of recognized by big powers. London Conference in 1913 and ambassadors of great power like Great Britain, France, Germany, Austria, Russia. They left more than 40% of the Albanian territories, the Albanian population, out of the proclaimed Albanian state. But later on in 1919, when the peace conference in Paris, another attempt to take more Albanian territories by two kingdoms like Yugoslavia, Kingdom of Yugoslavia, and Kingdom of Greece. If you see this map, you see the black border. That's the projected Albania on that conference. But intervention of US and President Wilson, Albania was saved on today's border, which is you can see a green border there. So now after Albanians today in the region are the red dots and the red part and the slide. Albanians are in Albania. There are 3 million Albanians. In Kosovo, about 2 million, 1.6, 2 million Albanians. In Macedonia, Northern Macedonia, 700,000 Albanians. In Montenegro, 30,000. In Serbia, southern Serbia, 70,000 and more. And but the big number of Albanians, they live in Greece, especially after the collapse of communism. Around today, they live around 500,000 Albanians in Greece. The left, you see these left dots, red dots. They are in Italy today. I spoke about Albanian Arbresh community, Italian Albanian Arbresh community. There are 51 Albanian-speaking towns and villages today in Italy. So Albanian and diaspora, there are, before I go to the United States, there are Albanians, one of the most populated country is Turkey. Today in Turkey, they live around 5 million Albanians. And Turkey is first country with biggest Albanian population in the world today. Another countries in Europe, the Albanian Italy 500,000, Greece I said 500,000 and more. About 300,000 in Switzerland, France, England, and about 500,000, and some other countries in the low number. Now let's go to a little bit down. Albanian immigration to the U.S. Albanians immigrated in the U.S. starting in the 19th century, late 19th century. First Albanian considered to come to the United States was named Kolj Kristoferi from South Albania, Kolj town in South Albania. He arrived here in the United States in Boston area in 1884 or 1886. Or 1886. Several years later, he made a couple trips to Albania, and he brought back a couple cousins, like 14 to 20 cousins from his village. And then by year 1895, around 20 Albanians, they were settled in the U.S. In one of the newspaper. First, Albanians as a community, like coming in the large numbers in 1900s, they formed the first newspaper in Boston area, Daily and later Kombi, which in the article of that newspaper in 1907, They count around 20,000 Arbresh Albanians from Italy. They live in US. Around 5,000 Albanians from South Albania. They live in US in 1907. Actually, in the Titanic, we have in 1912, we have 3 Albanians identified as Albanians. One of them survived. I think he died in 1996. And emigration of Albanians to US starts, like, you know, in the large numbers between 2 wars, especially from Albania. And during the Albania accepted communism, had to accept in 1945, like big numbers of Albanians came to US. And during this period of time of Albanians from former Yugoslavia during the Tito regime, 1945 to 1970, there was big numbers of Albanians from Yugoslavia came, but not from Albania because Albania was kind of under communism and it was locked. So the immigration of Albanians from former Yugoslavia came to the big numbers in late 60s and early 70s. During the Kosovo War, Albanians, President Clinton authorized a humanitarian program to provide around 20,000 Kosovars, Albanians from Kosovo, asylum. Most of them, they returned back after Kosovo got free. But not most of them, like few of them, but some of them, they got back, but most of them, they live in the United States, all over the United States. As per my work with the Albanian community in past, how many, almost 30 years, I can say, like, in Albania, in US, they live like around 1 million Albanians today, because most of Albanians, after, we cannot count them as Albanians. The Albanians, they came like before World War II. You cannot count them because all of them, they became Americans. Even before Albanians, they came here, before 60s, they became Americans too. So you cannot count them as Albanians. Counting only Albanians came like late 1960s and on. So the largest community of Albanians in US is in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Boston and Worcester area, Massachusetts, Michigan, Illinois, Texas, Pennsylvania, and Florida. Now, Albanians in the Bronx. A large number of immigrants start coming to the Bronx from 1950s, as I mentioned, in 1960s and 70s. These immigrants coming only from Yugoslavia, from former Yugoslavia. As you may know, Yugoslavia was a country federal country formed by 6 republics and 2 regions like Kosovo and Vojvodina. It was Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, and Macedonia. Most of Albanians, they came to at this time, they were coming from Montenegro. Montenegro was facing very systematic discrimination in all of aspects of life, in education and start to find in the jobs and, you know, all kind of discrimination. So they found a way how to immigrate to US. One of the ways which worked for Albanians from Montenegro was coming to Italy and then apply for visa and documents to come to the United States. So many families from the region, they moved to Rome first. They apply for visa for United States, but the process of getting documents back was like 3, 4 to a year or 2 years. So they had to stay in Rome or near Rome, those villages near Rome, and work there for months and for probably years, not for a year, by living in Rome and like, you know, next to Rome, waiting for papers to get back from US. They learned Italian. So Albanians, to learn Italian was not a hard job. Most of Albanians speak Italian, especially in Albania. So after they got the papers back from US, usually all of them they came legally here. They were looking to settle on the places where Italian American communities are, for two reasons. Reason number one, because they speak Italian and they don't speak English, zero English, and it's easy to find a job. So that's why Bronx was first target for Albanians. They coming from Montenegro. So first Albanians they came to Montenegro was like from Montenegro, settled in the Bronx area and in Bronx, in Arthur Avenue and Pelham Parkway area. This is two places where we have information the Albanians came. So so I can say, like, after Staten Island, borough of Bronx is one of the most populated borough of the Albanian American community here. Actually, I did some research, and by zip codes, like 461 and 462, there are this where the most Albanians live. Like they live in every other part of the Bronx, including City Island. But the Pelham Parkway area on both sides is the most populated Albanian American community. So the number of Albanians in the Bronx, so nobody knows. So I can give you some ideas. I tried, like, you know, year by year to get right number of Albanians, but Albanians, they moving from the Bronx everywhere. Actually, Bronx is one of the first stop from Albanians to move in other states, not next to Bronx like Westchester or Rockland County, but there's the first home of Albanians coming to Bronx and then move to Texas and Florida and other parts of United States for better life and for jobs and stuff. But the number, I think, right now is around 40,000 to 70,000 Albanians living today in the Bronx. But if you Google it, you can find some information like, you know, Albanians, there are more than 100,000 Albanians living in the Bronx, but I cannot confirm that. But based on so many undocumented Albanian immigrants, they live in the Bronx, probably that number is the right number. But I know some right numbers, so I can share it with you, is number of Albanian voters in the Bronx. I have been involved with so many years helping local politicians to get elected. And they always looking for more votes. And one of the communities which now is getting, like, you know, out and vote is Albanian American community. We start like 10 or 12 years, probably more, like 2012, start helping one Albanian, our own, Mark January. First, we helped him to get elected in Assembly District 80, and then for New York City Council District 13. So Mark was very hardworking, like, you know, not only in his business, but he worked for the city and for the assembly, and we have helped him get elected, and because of his success, we have so many other local officials to get Albanian vote. So the number of Albanian votes is not big, because around 5 to 7, like around 6,000 Albanian votes. And the problem is because most of Albanian voters are undecided voters. They don't belong any party, but we are working to get to register them, and even undecided, just to register them so they can vote in general election. So now I'm gonna go to some Albanian organization in the Bronx. I just make it like, as a topic. So Albanians, as I mentioned before, came to 1950s and 60s, and by living in the Bronx, they start organized in so many ways. One of the first organization of Albanians in the Bronx was the Albanian American Catholic League, formed in 1962 by Father Zeforoshi and Father Nargay. This organization, they trying to help new immigrants to find a place so they can do liturgical services in local churches, usually American Italian churches around. So from 1962, they all used all kinds of churches in the Bronx and in Manhattan. And in 1969, they they bought the first church in Park Avenue in the Bronx, called Our Lady of Good Counsel. And beside liturgical services, this church served Albanian American community as a cultural center too. So this community, from 1969 till 1999, they moved to new church in Harsdale, New York, which we call Our Lady of Shkodra. I think Our Lady of Shkodra is one of the biggest Albanian Catholic church in the world today. Church was consecrated by Cardinal O'Connor in 1999. And Our Lady of Shkodra is one of the biggest as an institution, not only serving as a church, as a community center. And the church, our church organized one of the biggest events in the community, Albanian Festival, a yearly festival which we held in November every year. It's with more than 3,000 attendants. And then they publish a newspaper, like a magazine called Jeta Katolike, Catholic Life, and so many other, like Heritage Day, 5,000 to 8,000 people, and dance schools and so on. In the Bronx, Albanians are formed so many other organizations. I cannot mention, but there are more than like 50 or up to 100 organizations. They serve, like, Albanians coming from different parts of the map I show you. So it's and the Bronx is headquarters of the oldest Albanian newspaper. It's daily. It was formed in 1909 in Boston. Now is in the Bronx in Little Italy here. And then in 1991 was another newspaper established by one of the wealthiest Albanian real estate owner, Harry Bayraktari. The newspaper was both in English and Albanian, called Illyria. I worked there for 5 years. And then TV stations, very successful TV station in the 1990s by Osmani Brothers, and so many other TV stations, schools, and others. Actually, in Mother Teresa is, as you know, she's Albanian Albanian from Albania. That she was born in the Ottoman Empire in 1910, but was part of Kosovo. Her parents are from Kosovo, where I come from. So, in 145th Street is her missionary charity. And she was so many times there, and Albanians, they met her so many times in 145th Street in her missionary. I want to talk about Albanian businesses in the Bronx. So Albanians, they start their businesses everywhere in the Bronx. Everywhere you can see Albanian owners. Everywhere in the Bronx there are Albanian restaurants, grocery stores, and every business you can name it is in Albanian. From lawyers to doctors, to dentists, to travel agencies or accountants and so on and so on. But the most successful Albanians in the Bronx are in real estate. I think the real estate landlord business is one of the biggest in New York. It's concentrated in the Bronx. There are some information on like 1/3 of Albanian real estate owned by Albanians. I cannot confirm that, but I know, like, you know, there are so many Albanian real estate and Albanian landlords in the Bronx, all over the Bronx. So the other industry Albanians are very successful is in the restaurant business. Not in the Bronx. In the Bronx, you have only Albanian restaurants with Albanian food. But Albanians are very successful in Albanian Italian restaurant business and the steakhouse. One of the, I think in the Manhattan, there are #1 Albanian owners of Italian restaurant business that are all owned by Albanians. So Albanian events in the Bronx. Oh, Albanian, okay, lately we have some street naming which I want to mention. It's we have first in 2009 in Leydig Avenue, street named Mother Teresa by was councilman was Vaca councilman, I guess. Then in 2022, we named another Fanoli Way in Tinbrook and Morris Park. Another name, Albanian name, is Judge Kastriotis Skanderbeu, which is in May 15, 2022. And this became one of the biggest events of the Albanians in the Bronx, which last year was the third, 2024 was the third one. We have, I think, more than 7,000 Albanians attending to this fair with Albanian music, Albanian food, and Albanian merchants and everywhere. So I will just share a little video with you guys. So just to give you an idea of the event, maybe some of you attended this event, but in any case, I just want to see if I can share this. Yes.
Unbelievable. What a proud day. My heart is filled. I see my people, my community, the Albanian community, not only flourishing, but growing in their successes and their professions. It's just incredible that we get the honor of having our greatest hero, Judge Kastriotis Skanderbeu street naming today, and we turned it into a festival with music, a street fair, for all to enjoy. I'm humbled by all of this.
Një event historik, I cili shpresoj të jetë një event që të jetë burim frymëzimi për gjithë shqiptarët, por edhe të jetë moment reflektimi për gjithë ata shqiptarët të cilët drejtojnë popullin tonë në troje të ndryshme dhe të mos harrojnë amanetet e të parëve tanë.
Duke falenderuar shumë zotin Margjonaj që ditë të bëjë shqiptarët bashkë dhe të na emëroj të gjithë sot në një emër të përbashkët si nipërit e stërmbesat e Gjergj Kastrioti Skënderbeut këtu në Amerikë.
We're celebrating a war hero who was the David of his time, who stood up to the Goliath of his time. And for me, there's no perfect place, no better place to celebrate his life and legacy than right here. It shows you how many people, how much support we have, not only within our community, but from outside. The highest levels, the mayor, the senator.
Të vegjël numër, të vegjël territori ose Amerika, po me ide të ndaja. Unë besoj që ide e madhe ishte ajo Skënderbeu, e përsa kur që ka një Skënderbeu se cili për nesh, e ndoshta pak më shumë ke Margjonaj, që na mblodhi gjithë bashkë, sot ishte ditë historike.
Edhe Skënderbeu, sheshit e Skënderbeut në gjithë anekdot të Evropës, edhe në botë, në vende të tjera, po New York kjo është gjë e veçantë, si se New York konsiderohet si shteti i botës, edhe kjo pjesa këtu ku jemi ne edhe këtu, është simbolizon komunitetin shqiptar të Amerikës që nga vitet 1940 atje.
Më kënaq se sa kaq duke parë një atmosferë të tillë, një ditë të bukur, një ditë historike, një ditë që na bashkon, që na flet të gjithëve.
Të festojmë rrugën e re që e kemi femëruar me heroin tonë kombëtar që është Skënderbeu.
And when I talk about the good New Yorkers, I'm talking about the Albanian community. You are representative of the good New York. Hard-working, committed, dedicated. You do our job. I love this community because you are the best of America.
This will be the first of many annual events open to the public that we can portray our culture and heritage through dress and through food for all to enjoy. So I'm proud to be here. I'm proud of this community, and I'm proud of the work that we're going to do together. Zoti beqoft shqiptar kudo që jeni ato. Zoti beqoft Shqipërinë e Kosovën. Zoti beqoft Amerikën.
Okay. I think this is the last one. If you have any questions, I'm here. If I know, I will answer.
So, yes, excellent presentation, Ismer. And also, by the way, I neglected to mention in the beginning how I met you. It's because of Jackie Kapai from the Albanian American Education Association. So she made the connection between the both of us. Much respect to her for making that great connection. But yeah, a couple of questions. It said there are 5 million Albanians in Turkey.
Yes.
Do they mostly live in Istanbul, or are most of them of Muslim background that they are living there for the most part, or?
No, the most of the Albanians, they live inside Turkey and Anatolia.
Okay.
They still live in the villages, and they still married to villages to each other. And most of them, I was there once, and most of them, they speak only one language. It is Albanian. They try to so hard, like not not become Turks. So they after the communism in Albania and after Kosovo got liberated, there were so many now come and visit Albania and Kosovo, and and that's how now we know. But this president of Turkey in one of the interviews said, like, Prime Minister Rama, which is Prime Minister of Albania, he said it's not Prime Minister of the most Albanians. I'm the Prime Minister of the most Albanian on the planet, he said to Rama, not the Albanian Prime Minister, but Recep Erdogan, whatever. Yeah.
That's interesting. Anybody else, any questions or?
How do we hear about the 2025 street fair?
Yeah, we have a date. We have a date on the, but we have to wait now for clearance from Belmont Association in the Arthur Avenue. Peter Madonia is chairman of the association, and then we have to wait for clearance, but we have a date, I think it's May 4.
Do you have like a Facebook page or something like that, or?
I created a simple website trying to collect, if you go to skanderbeofair.com.
Okay, thanks.
And you can see like the videos from 2000 and
Yeah, I found that already. Thanks.
oh, okay. Good.
Anybody else? Any questions?
Okay.
Also, another question. You said in 1968, and forgive me if I mispronounce the person's name, Castrotis' death in 1968. You said a lot of Albanians did make their way to America. What was the field going on in Albania at the time, or for them to make their way to America at that point?
In the 1968, I didn't mention 1968. 1968 is like the 60s is the year when these Albanians from Montenegro, they moved a lot through Italy to America.
Right.
And so this group of people, they are kind of persecuted, especially Catholic Albanians. Talking about because, as I mentioned before, from 1050, when is that big divide in Europe happens to be where Albanians live. So Albanians, they became Catholics, and some of them Orthodox. They stayed in the old religion. So after the Turkish Empire came, many of these Christians, they converted to Islam, trying to preserve their nation. They didn't lose their nationality as Albanian, but they changed their religion, like in an easy way. So today, Albanians, there are Catholics, Roman Catholics, Eastern Orthodox, and Muslims. But they are one nation, like brothers. You don't see like any religious group like in a good terms. They live in good terms as Albanians because they know like it happens like one brother is a Catholic and the other one is Muslim. So in Montenegro, Montenegro was kind of Kosovo kind of 1970s try like to stand up on his feet by getting the constitution in 1974, and that's how Albanians they came like kind of to be part of Yugoslavia and to build their country and to get like institutions. We got our university in Kosovo, but not in Montenegro and not in Macedonia. So these Albanians, they had no options. Like, it's hard to do business. It's hard to get educated only if they move to Kosovo. But Kosovo was like a problem. So they found a way like, to come to America. So by coming to America, as I mentioned, they first they settled in the Bronx. The Bronx was the first destination of many Albanians from Montenegro.
Very interesting that how people transit and make their way to different spots in New York City and why they come to a particular spot. That's a really good analysis. I liked how they made their way from Albania or from Italy into the Bronx because they were living, some of them obviously were living in Italy. That's why they made their way here to Arthur Avenue and things like that. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, there are so many Albanians, they learned the restaurant business, like, they learned Italian, but they didn't know any English, zero English, but a lot of Italian. So the best place to look for a job was Italian, like, Manhattan, Little Italy and Little Italy in the Bronx. So-
Interesting. Yeah.
And,
So-
and we look like Italians, so we can sell anything like, you know, oh, I'm Italian, a few words until you find out I'm not Italian. Yeah.
So with your the Albanian Yellow Pages, what percentage of businesses in the Albanian Yellow Pages are from the Bronx? Is it a high percentage of Bronx businesses in there?
It used to be like very high percentage. Almost I registered every Albanian business in the Bronx. I put them listing for free, and then try to get advertised so I can get some money to publish.
Right.
But the listing is for free. Still, I list every business owned by Albanian American for free. And then, you know, but most of them in the Bronx. As I mentioned, Staten Island is very huge with Albanian population, Albanian community. Also Brooklyn. But another thing, Albanians, they move into Westchester a lot, like every other communities from the Bronx, that they move in Westchester, Rockland County, Putnam, and Dutchess, and everywhere. But they keep their businesses here. Yeah. So basically, the real estate business is concentrated in the Bronx.
Interesting. Any other questions for our guest?
I want to mention something about our Brescia Italian community I didn't mention. There are some famous our Brescia community in living in the United States, even in the world today. So I'm just gonna go like, you know, for like few of them. Stanley Tucci is one of the Arbresh descent. Is Joe Pesci, Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, is Arbresh, from Arbresh community. Is Pope. We have 3 popes with Albanian. We gave 3 popes with Albanian. Pope the Clement the 11th, Giovanni Francesco Albani, was Pope from 1700s. Another one is Joe Diogordi, was born in the Bronx. He was a congressman representing that time District 20. Now it's 34, I guess. Francesco Crispi, another was Prime Minister of Italy in 1887. Cara Diogordi, Diogordi's daughter, was a songwriter. Michael Danny DeVito is her parents were Arbresh community of Regis Philbin. Also, her mom was Arbresh. Sal Albanese, the guy from New York City Council. Ernesto Sabata from Argentina, this is a writer. And so many others I cannot mention here, but you know.
Does that term Arbresh, does that have a meaning in Albanian? Or does it translate into English somehow?
Arbresh, you know, if you use Albanian, we called ourselves Albanian, but Albanian we didn't in middle, like during the Skanderbeg era, like in 14th century, there was no Albanian. Albania didn't exist. Albanian nation didn't exist. They call Arbresh, arbor. Arbor is arbor. This is how we call. And then when Albanian state came, like, we call Albania came, like, later on. So arbor is arbresh or arvanitas. Arvanitas, Albanians from Greece, they call themselves arvanitas. Because Ottoman Empire, when got into the region, they found these people, they speak same language, different language than, Greeks. Was Albanian, arbor, arvanitas. So that time Arboria, called Albania called Arboria, and people they lived in Arboria called themselves arbor.
So Albrecht would be before Albania then, basically, the name.
In the 14th century. So was the special fact about Albrecht is they are not Catholics, Roman Catholics. They are Eastern Orthodox, but they couldn't get any connection with Constantinople at that time before. But the Pope, I think in 16th century, they accept them as a special rite in the Roman Catholic Church. So their seat is not in Constantinople, even they are not Catholics. They are in Vatican, in the Holy See, as a special Christians. Interesting. Yeah.
Any final questions? I see someone has someone in the chat. So Ralph says, we heard Narita Halili last weekend. I guess you're a musician?
Yeah, she's a singer, yep.
She's one of the top Albanian singer in Albania and in our community.
Yeah, she lives out here in New Jersey where I live.
Yeah, she's from New Jersey, and her husband is a very good musician.
Yeah, he was there too. I meet them often.
Oh, good, very good. Merita and Raif, they are very, very.
I might as well ask, are there any musicians in the Bronx that you'd recommend?
There are any musicians? Oh, yeah. Musicians are, I have a list in the Albanian Yellow Pages of musicians.
Oh, look. Okay, I found your Yellow Pages. I'll take a look in there.
There is so many. So I just, they changing the phone numbers every like month. It's hard like to keep track of them.
Well, I like, I won't go on too long, but I like clarinet music from the south of current Albania.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I will share the festival flyer for this year. Usually we don't do it in the Bronx anymore. We used to do it in Lehman College for so many years, and I was an art director there, and music director, stage manager, and all kind of,
Right.
So I will share the flyer as soon as we have the date, and we have like two groups with Southern Albanian music with
great
clarinet and.
Oh, great! I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been fun. I actually didn't know anything about the Bronx and Albania, so I learned a lot today. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Excellent. That's great. So let me just turn on my screen. We were supposed to meet, and I did have a plaque for you, certificate of appreciation. So I will get this to you eventually. So if you give me your address, I could probably mail it to you. But definitely an interesting talk, and just history in general of Albanians and then Albanians in America. So really appreciate it. If anybody's interested, please, you could email us eastbronxhistory@gmail.com if you want to be on our mailing list. And Ismer, are there any things you'd like to plug? Website, Instagram, Facebook page for anybody to know more about you?
I usually don't have my personal page. I have the website, and I have some other websites. Actually, I own more than 100 websites.
Wow.
Related to Albanian. I used to have albanianshopping.com. It's not in business anymore. But after Amazon.com, I opened this website. It was very successful for years. And Albanian Media Group, now I'm concentrating only in marketing and PR, and this election helping, like, new politicians to get the Albanian vote, especially. Not only in the Bronx. No, I'm working everywhere in US. If you remember, if you saw that map when Trump won the election, that red map, I'm going in every county US where the Albanians live, and get, like, how many Albanians vote in each county in US. So far, I'm in Michigan, so I'm trying to count every Albanian in every county, how many voters are in each county in USA.
That's very detailed work. But it's useful though, definitely.
So yeah, and it's a good business too. Yeah, it's a good business too.
So I safe to say people can contact you through the Albanian Yellow Pages or through your media group, I'm guessing. So if anything,
anything, Albanian Yellow Pages, media group, everywhere, on my name, you can Google it, you can find everything. Yeah, my office, and any of you guys are in the Bronx, in Little Italy, my office is in Crescent Avenue, the 612 Crescent. And if you're around here, I would love you to show you the Albanian, because only in 2 blocks here, there are 60 to 70 Albanian businesses. Only in Arthur Avenue, 187 and to 188, there are 70 Albanian-owned businesses here. One of the best restaurants with Albanian food rated in the New York Times, top 100 restaurant in New York City, is Albanian restaurant here, Chakachilu, with Albanian dishes.
nice.
Yeah.
Stop by and get a barek.
Okay, Burek. Any of you're in the Bronx, you're 612 Crescent Avenue, or
Yes.
home, I'm around here every day except Sunday.
I could stop by and give you your plaque.
Good. Very good.
Thank you, Ismer. And again, thanks again to Jackie Kapai from Albanian American Education Association in getting us in contact with you. So great meeting. And hopefully we'll definitely have you back another time in the future. And good information. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and nice meeting you through this Zoom chat, and all the best and Happy New Year to all of you guys.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Any question, anything you have to do with the Albanian community, I think Mark Jonah is very involved too. But I'm before Mark around here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Ismer. Appreciate it.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you, everyone. See you next month.
Thank you.